Hello everyone, we're here today to go over the concepts of how to take care of a person who is using a halo. We're going to review how to change out the pads and how to do pin care. This brace is for somebody who has a cervical fracture, and so it's meant to hold that neck in place for a good 3 months. It does seem a little bit like a big contraption, but it does do the job, and it's kind of like putting the neck in a cast. So really important that as healthcare providers that we know how to help a person take care of this. So the first thing I want to talk about is how we take care of the pins. And if you look right here, you see that there are 4 pins. 2 of them are capped and 2 of them are not. Those pins go directly into the skull, and you all kind of go, ooh, that doesn't sound very good. But there isn't a lot of feeling in that part of the head, and so it does provide the stability that's necessary. Once they're in, they themselves should not be painful. If the pins are causing some pain, then we want to really check for signs of infection. So those, of course, would be redness, swelling, any drainage coming from those pins. The most common pin care that we do now is just soap and water pin care. So we can do that with a washcloth. We could take a washcloth that's a corner dipped in a little bit of soapy water, and then we just take it right around the pin. And you want to start at the top and move down, and then never come back up from the bottom. Always start at the top again and come down. So it's a C motion. So start at the top and come down. Then move to the next pin or the next corner, dip it in some soapy water, come to the top of the pin and come around in a C motion. Then you're going to go to another corner, dip it in rinse water and rinse in the same fashion. So it's a C motion. Rinse, dip in rinse water and come back around. You never want to go from the bottom back up to the top, and you never want to use the same corner and, so to speak, double dip in any of your solutions. So then when you need to go to the next pin, you just either take another washcloth if you've run out of corners or clean places, and go back to the next pin with the same motion. So using a soapy washcloth is one way to do it. Another way, if we are allowed to have normal saline, would be to use Q-tips and have a little medicine cup and dip it in your normal saline, and then do the same thing. Start at the top and go down. So start at the top and go down. Then get another Q-tip, start at the top and go down and around. The third way to do pin care that's also a really good way is to, if we have orders to allow the person to get in the shower. So if they can get in the shower, that's awesome. We can go ahead and take our sheepskin out and then make sure they're buckled in one more notch so that the soft side of the Velcro is up against the body, and we've kind of tightened that up just a little bit. Then they can get in the shower with this plastic brace, and if that's happening, then we can just use soap and water or shampoo and do like you would normally wash your hair. Just focus around those pins a little bit more. Okay, so that's how we deal with pin care. While you're doing pin care, you want to make sure that all the pins are tight. If you find any loose pins, you want to make sure and report those right away. Also report any signs of infection, the redness or the swelling or the drainage. So the next challenging thing that we need to do with the brace is to change the pads. So right now we've got sheepskin pads in here. They're beautiful, they're warm. In the summertime they get a little bit itchy. And if the person's having a shower, you want to change them to clean pads. So we should have a second set of pads available to us. These can be washed in woolite and hung to dry. They should not be put in the dryer. They are pure lamb's wool. So we don't want to put them in the dryer where they're going to shrink up. So we can wash them in woolite, hang them to dry. If their client complains of itchiness under them, We don't want to put lotions or powder under there on their skin. We can take a alcohol and like rubbing alcohol and put it on a washcloth and take that on the skin underneath the brace. So the tips to changing out the sheepskin. First thing we want to do is you never ever want to work with any of the black that's above the level of the middle here. So on the shoulders, you don't ever want to unbuckle these shoulder buckles. You don't ever want to use these bars to hang on to. They seem really convenient, but we don't want to do that. So pretty much leave everything that's black alone up at the top, except for when you're doing pins. You're only going to undo the bottom here. And when you undo, you want to make sure that you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in hole number 5. Good idea is to make a mark right there so you know that for the future. I'm going to undo both sides. Be aware that there is one more plastic piece, a white plastic, that's about as long as this strip that is attached right here. And normally that would feed right through underneath the buckle, so that it's just a stabilizer right under there. So you'll see that on your braces. So I'm undoing both sides. They're both at number 5. Then I'm going to take out the pad that's there. It's Velcroed in. This has quite a bit of Velcro, and because of that, that's why I'm going to teach you the technique for using the pillowcase to put the new one in. So I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to do the front first and then the back. So because there's so much Velcro, now this was one of our clients' ways to survive the winter. They put a cover on their sheepskin, and I personally don't think we need so much Velcro, so I usually cover some of it up and only give the corners so that we're working with. But I'm going to teach you the right way to put this in. If you end up adapting your cushions, then that's another thought that can happen. So normally there's Velcro all through here. And so I'm going to put the pillowcase in, put it in a pillowcase. Bunny ears up. Notice that the front side is a little bit smaller, and so this is the up side. Bunny ears up. The back side's a little bit bigger. Again, bunny ears up. So bunny ears are, it's really annoying when you get it in there and it's upside down or something, because it's kind of hard work to get it in and out. So now my bunny ears are up. I've got the lower part of my pad. So I'm going to make sure that I'm putting it in so that the Velcro side is up, and I'm sliding it in. Now my person is either laying down. This one is going to be laying down. If they are able to walk, and you can put them on the, sit them on the back of a chair with arms on it. Let me show you what that would look like. You could sit them on a chair with arms like this, and then you could do the front and the back together. But most of the time, some of the time our folks are in bed and not able to walk, unfortunately. So we would be having to rock and roll them in bed. So you make sure you've got it anchored down here. And then I am working this pillowcase up, being cognizant that there's a face right here. So I've got to be careful not to get in their face. And then I'm just working my pillowcase off so that all the Velcro, so that once I'm done, all the Velcro sticks really nicely. I'm checking to make sure I have no wrinkles, no big bumps in there. Then I'm going to get my other one ready. And so that's all ready. Bunny ears up. I got my bottom sticking out. Now I'm going to half buckle this other side that I'm rolling my client to. If I've got my little strap that I can feed through to help with my anchoring, that's fine too. I'm going to turn him from hip and shoulder. So I don't want to, again, hold on into the black. I just want to get hip and shoulder, but I don't have a hip and shoulder, so I'm just taking my white plastic. You can handle any of your white plastic. You can use that as handholds. So I'm taking my old one out, putting that one aside, taking my pad that I have ready, and bringing it in, anchoring it, making sure that I'm covering up all the plastic edge here, or so that I have a little bit of overhang. All right, now because I don't have a body in, I can probably get both sides done at once, but we'll see. Sometimes you have to really rock and roll them. So again, I've got to take it from the back. This little extra is going to come up over the shoulders because I got a kind of skinny guy in here right now. All right, now that's about as far as I can get. Then I need to put him back down, and I would go to the other side of the bed and roll him up this way and undo my buckle and finish him up. So now I'm just, again, his head's there, so I am pulling from the back to make sure that I get this all the way out and tuck it up under. I do a quick check to make sure all of this is nice and smooth, and then I'm going to put him back, buckle him up to my 5th hole. Again, buckle up to my 5th hole and put that white plastic through. And that's how I would change the pads. The last thing you need to know about halo care management is what would you do if this person, in the unlikely event that they needed CPR. The nice thing about this particular brace is that you already have a backboard right back here. There is a line right here in the front. You would quickly unbuckle and you would bend this white brace up right at that line, and then you would be right where you need to be to do your compressions. I think that's most of what you need to know to take care of pin care, to change out the pads, and what to do in an emergency situation. The last thing you need to know is just to be aware of where the wrenches are. These wrenches are important for adjusting or taking off the brace. Aides would never do anything with these wrenches, but you need to know where they are. Don't let them get hidden in the bottom of a drawer and forgotten about. When we're going to appointments and things, they should be with us. This wrench is what is going to take off the bolts to get it off the head, and this is the wrench that's used for tightening. And nurses can go around and tighten when they do their weekly or bi-weekly visits. So I think that's all that we need to cover today. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to working with you.